What is going on? Live Tribal is back with episode 5. It's John V, the villain that y'all all love to hate and want to see on OnlyFans. And I'm back with Coach Drew. What up?
Not much. I'm good. Glad to be back. I know I had a few weeks off, but I've been looking forward to this since probably since Monday. So yeah, I'm excited to see who we have joining us today.
Yeah. So our guests, you haven't really met them yet, so that's actually great. That leads to some good combos. Um, yeah. So where were you last week? Watching a football game? Dipped on
No,
us.
I was coaching. I was
Coaching
coaching. Yeah, I was coaching.
rugby, right?
Yeah.
I mean, didn't you coach someone that's in the pros right now?
Oh well, he got drafted. He starts playing next what spring. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm really proud of him. Everyone seems to be really proud of him. So yeah, it's great that I was able to coach someone to make it to that level.
Yeah. So did they go overseas or anything, or they just went straight high school
No,
college?
so I coached them in college. They got drafted Major League Rugby in the United States. He did do a tour in France for like a week during his junior year.
Yeah.
Um, so like he people do know him, and he's young enough that he could potentially go out and make the actual U.S. national team before the World Cup or Olympics or whatever.
Okay. Fire. So you can say you have you been up on LRG news lately? Like any of the games that have released these last couple of weeks?
No, so I mean, I went out and played Survivor Brooklyn South a couple weeks ago with Joel, and that was a great time. It rained the entire time, but it was great to actually play a Survivor. It was my first Survivor game in 3 years, so it was nice to just get back out there. It didn't last too long, but I was able to stay and enjoy um, the rest of the game as it unfolded, and they all put on a great game out there. Despite the weather.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, no, I have not been really up to date with anything that's been going on in the LRG world. I know that there's a couple going on right now. I know that was that yeah, Joel played in CUIS what last week or 2 weeks ago, so that was fun to spectate him.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yeah, no.
Yeah. I think it's actually a game that just finished earlier today. I think Chicago Traders. I think it's their second season.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they were doing like a scream type theme. I've seen a couple of familiar faces on there, but I
We
know that
always will. It would be very hard to find an LRG where you don't know at least one person's face there.
yeah. And right now, I know there was the Survivor Bloomington mini. We had Survivor Brooklyn South. Survivor Brooklyn South also has a spin-off game. I think it's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
So all of that's pretty dope. I mean, I did shout them out on the thumbnail for this episode for this podcast. I try to kind of do like the '90s Source Awards magazines, like kind of like put.
I doubt that anybody's going to understand that. Like in this community, I'm fairly certain no one's going to understand a Source Awards reference.
Well, hopefully they did. I mean, but gave a little shout out to some of the games out there. But the main man that's on the cover is my man Xavier, who is kind of new to the LRG world. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring Xavier on to the front stage. Xavier, what's up, man?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. You?
Chilling, man. It's Sunday. I gotta go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's chill out.
Yeah, I
So,
got.
okay,
What?
go
No,
ahead.
you go. You go. You go.
I was going to say, let's just getting right into it. How long have you been in the community, and what inspired you to make that leap into whatever this is that we all do?
Yeah. So, I've always been a fan of, reality games like Survivor, Big Brother, The Challenge. All started growing up, with my grandparents. My grandparents were huge fans of Survivor and Big Brother and The Challenge. They've been watching since like the first season. So I remember the first season I watched of Survivor live was Survivor Philippines. I remember watching it, and that was the season when Denise, Malcolm, Abby Maria, like all of them. And
Harder.
so yeah, it it was such a good season to watch. just because like the drama with like the Blue Tribe, how they lost every single house. Denise somehow got to the end and won. It was just so interesting to watch. And then I got into Big Brother. That was BB 15 was the first season I watched live. So I was watching this at a good like 6, 7 years old, by the way. Like I was extremely young. Eventually, I watched the rest of the seasons live, and then I watched the old seasons. I got involved in online games. I started playing orgs when I was like 11. I had no business doing that.
All right.
But I was just like, yo, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I would lie. I would be like, yeah, I'm 18. I'm 18. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play. I was just so like into the games, and I had no way of playing the game. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try these orgs. 2020 hit, and when 2020 hit, I was what, 15. Quarantine hit, so at that point I wasn't doing nothing. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just apply to every single org. I got into so much communities through that. I played so much online games, and I got involved into this community. That's how I met my friend Brady. She was on here last week. This They still do challenge games on Instagram. It's called Camp Deadly. It used to be called MTV Deadly. That was like the biggest Instagram challenge game you could play. It still is. It still is. There's nobody that tops it. And I got with it. I ended up meeting the host in person. That person is still one of my closest friends to this day. And based off of that, I just kept on returning, kept on playing through quarantine. And that kind of opened the door to a whole bunch of opportunities. I met so many new people. I got introduced to LRGs eventually. And once I got introduced to LRGs, I knew that like that is something I 100% wanted to do. I didn't care how I ended up getting to it. I just knew that I was going to do whatever it takes to do it. I knew because of my age, especially when I first found out about LRGs, I was like 16. So I knew I wouldn't really be able to fully do it. But I still wanted to get my name out there so that when I do turn, 18 or 21 or whatever age you have to be to play these LRGs, they know like, okay, this is Xavier. He's been like in the community. He's been around the block. Like he knows his shit. So, yeah.
Well, you say you started at 11. First of all, I just need to ask, like, those were mostly, I'm assuming, just Discord games. Like, they weren't Skype games where you're clearly on camera and this person's clearly not 18.
Well, no, I did Discord, I did Zoom, I did Facebook. I was like every single community you can name it, I was in it. So
Okay.
Yeah, that's really interesting because, like you said, Brady was here last week and she talked about the same thing that she started out. She's like, I'm an OG. When I was like 12 years old, I was playing these games. So it's crazy that. So before, when you started playing these like Discord games, was there any LRGs out there that you knew of, or after you started playing, you found out?
um I did not know. The first LRG I found out about was Caucus. And that's just because I like went on YouTube and I looked it up and I was like, the challenge in real life. And it popped up and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And that was kind of like they were on their 12th season, I think, and I know they had applications in their Instagram, so I applied to it. But clearly I was too young for it. And that kind of I found out about Survivor New York, I think.
Okay.
It was some Survivor that was on YouTube like 3 years ago. And I was very interested in it. I was very interested in playing. This dude had a amazing race that he did around his neighborhood, and he had like um multiple seasons of it, and I was like, that seems cool, and it didn't seem like it had an age limit, but I could never really figure out how to apply to it. So the one LRG I knew of was Caucus, and I was 16. I applied, but clearly I was probably too young, and yeah.
No, but that's interesting you say that because I know when I first, so I played LRGs before I played any Oregon minis. Like I did it the opposite way. And the first one I found out about was the Penthouse. So I played the Penthouse, didn't do so well, wasn't my type of game. It was more kind of like a Big Brother house game.
Right.
So I wanted to do something where I could do challenges, physical. And I remember finding games like an Amazing Race. I remember finding like there was like another Survivor type game, but I could never figure out how to apply to them. Like I would go on the Facebook page and I'm looking for it, and then I'll go into Wikipedia and it'll say defunct, and I'm like, God damn it, when did this game get canceled? And I used to like
Right.
stalk certain people's pages and send messages like, hey. And I think if I go to my DMs right now, I'll go back to like 2021. The shits have not been read yet. So I kind of feel you on it, like, yo, I want to play. This is a whole nother community. Now you're going out there and you can't find it. But luckily now we got the live reality casting page. We have
Right.
Facebook groups where every day somebody's popping out with a new game, and it's like here's the apps, here's the app. So I think the community's come a long way since when you first started, when I first started.
Yeah, and I was just ready to say, like, as an OG, someone that has been playing for what, probably 10 years at this point, right? In some capacity, how do you feel about the fact that now your small niche community of, I'm assuming that back in the day, it wasn't as large as it was once COVID hit. And once COVID hit, we got these new batches of people that would hop in every year, LRG or mini wise. Did you feel like it became oversaturated at a certain point, or were you open and welcoming to these people joining? Because I didn't join until 2021 either. Like I didn't know this existed until 2021, and I would meet people like yourself that had the same story of, I've been playing since I was a kid, and I'm 50 now. It's like, well, wait, what? So like, do you feel like it's oversaturated, and how did you feel when people started joining in bunches?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think that like you said, people I think now that there's so much more communities and so much more things like the LRG casting page, it's more easier to find it. I know that if I found out about this when I was like 8, I would have applied with my little iPod. I would have been like, yeah, typing it up. I just think there are so many people in this world that wants to do what we're doing and wants to do online games, in-person games, and is a fan of reality TV. They just don't know that this is a thing. But I think that the more people know about it, it's like tell a friend to tell a friend, and these groups of people are now going. The new people are now telling other people. Those people become the new people, and so on and so forth. And it's it's definitely a lot. There's so many communities that I've seen since I was a kid, and they've definitely blown up so much, and it's really nice to see. So.
Yeah. I mean, so to take a little bit of pivot though. So like you started playing these games when you were young. Now you're trying to get into LRGs. You played a couple. So how important is like, your upbringing when you play these games? Do you feel like you play these games and you're like, I gotta represent to a certain extent for like my culture, my heritage, or do you go in and I just want to have fun? Like how do you approach games?
I approach games. Me personally, um, I play with the intent of I just want to play like how it's the real show. I want to play like I'm there. When I apply to LRGs, when I apply to online games, it's because I want to experience the things that I am watching. There's so many different like games now that are going to keep up with like the new stuff. So like yes, 10 years ago I might have done like a blood versus water survivor with like redemption and all of that. But now there's games that are going to copy the real show, be like, okay, this is the exact twists and formats from season 46 of Survivor. And it's like, okay, I'm going to play like I was on that season of Real Survivor, and I just want to have fun. I'm there to experience it. I'm there to have fun, meet new people. And so yeah, it's never a thing with me really where it's like I'm here to, I guess, serve a purpose. It's more just I want to be a part of it and experience it.
Okay.
Yeah, John, you can keep on going.
All right. So I mean, I want to get to know you a little bit more before we dive into like more LRG stuff. So like educational. I know what's your educational, accolades? Like, what do you do for a living? What are you trying to do?
Yeah. So I definitely through high school, I definitely wanted to do something involving sports. Very athletic. I was very able to. Baseball was a big thing. I tried out for baseball teams, varsity, all of that. Um, and then senior year, I got I guess it wasn't a thing of I tried out. They reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, um, we could put you on the varsity team, this and that." But I also had theater. I wasn't into theater that much because I was so into baseball and I was into sports and all of that. Um, and then senior year hit, and it was kind of a thing where it was a newfound thing. I didn't know I had that talent. I didn't know I had it in me. All I had to do was go to one theater competition. I ended up getting top honors for it. I was qualified to go to state competition. I was like, okay, I'm kind of good at this thing. Um, and so senior year came, and I had to choose between either baseball or theater. And I thought about it and I was like, I really like baseball. I love baseball. But I had to think to myself, do I see myself being in the MLB? Do I see myself doing good enough to be in the MLB? And I just, I felt safer taking the theater option because clearly I was doing something right with theater. So I ended up choosing theater. I did the plays. I auditioned to be in the musical, my first ever musical. I ended up getting the lead. It was Footloose. I was Ren McCormick, so I was the lead for that. And then college came. I auditioned for a college in Florida, which I'm currently at right now. And I got a full ride, full scholarship for theater. So I'm currently doing that.
Okay.
Okay, going off that, what's your top five dream roles for any production?
Okay. Number one has to be Hamilton from
Okay.
Hamilton. I can do the rap, Lin Manuel, you feel me? Number two is Usnavi from In the Heights. I could also do that very well. I have all the lyrics, the everything's memorized. Third would probably be Emmett from Legally Blonde.
Okay.
Um, Other lead role. Um, hmm. Fourth, ooh, Link from Hairspray. I
Okay.
don't, I don't really know how that would work because I'm not white, but
We'll make it work.
yeah.
I've seen a white production of The Wiz before, so like we're good.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll
And
Number
won't change Hamilton, bro. He made everybody black and brown, so we can do it.
yeah. Yeah, I that's actually what got me into theater. I did a solo from Hamilton. I got a perfect score, 90 out of 90, top honors. I did a solo from it. And yeah, but number five, I don't really got a number five. Currently, I'm in a production called Puffs for my college. It's basically a spin-off of Harry Potter. Same. What?
I'm a
What?
Hufflepuff, so like I know what Puffs is. Like
Oh
I know what
yeah,
Puffs is.
I got the little poster right here.
Okay.
But
I
I'm
know it.
playing. Can you guess what I am, Drew?
No, no,
No,
no, no.
I'm Cedric. I play Cedric.
Okay.
So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, those are my little roles.
Congrats.
So what is your so besides naming, like musicals and stuff, what do you want to do? Do you want to be like a top lead in a film? Do you want to have your own telenovela? Do you want to be
Right.
like what do you want? Horror films? You want to just work on musicals? What do you see? What would be ideal for you?
My ideal career right now doesn't even have anything to do with musicals or theater or plays or anything like that. I really want to do reality TV. I feel like ever since I was a kid, I knew I was entertaining. I knew I can hold an audience. I knew I can either perform or just be a personality. I'm a big personality when you really do get to know me. And if I had to choose, I would 100% do reality TV. Nothing to do with Broadway or plays or musicals or anything like that. But obviously, that takes a lot of time, that takes a lot of effort. And until that happens, right now, I'm just looking on pursuing my AA in musical theater. That's going to get me into more shows. I can move back to New York. Um,
Oh no. We've lost him.
Maybe.
It was just like it was been good, but like I was really. Oh, okay, all right. Is back?
I think he's back on. I seen the screen.
Oh no. All
Okay.
right, but so, John, have you ever heard of Puffs? Do you
Uh,
know?
no, all I know is I'm a Slytherin. That's all I know.
Okay. I mean, I don't think that anyone would be shocked by that. But no, I think that the fact that he both does theater and has an athletic background would
Yeah.
definitely help him going forward to pursue these things because you have to put on some type of, I won't say performance, but that's what it is. When you're out there, you're never your 100% genuine self. You have to be you have to play a role every now and then. You have to know how to hide behind things. I'm just doing that to kill time.
Yeah, I would say to continue on that is also like, even if you look at the top athletes, right? When they look at LeBron, when he first came in the league, really humble, down, but then after a while, you kind of get that charisma. And I feel like for Xavier, he's already coming in where to do theater, to do dancing, any type of music. Like I did hip hop music, I dropped albums, but in the beginning, it's hard to do that around certain people. Like you got to find yourself. So for someone to come in with that and the athletic background, I think gives you a leg up. Like I said, LeBron, when he's doing all of this, patting his chest. That's the theatrics of it all, and that's what makes him great. You don't want Kawhi Leonard is a beast as a basketball player, but he doesn't have those attributes. It's just like he's
He's
just
very plain, but
yeah,
like that. But then again, that is his. That is his brand. It's
yeah,
just like when Tim Duncan was the big fundamental. It's like, yeah, but he got a nickname off of just playing.
yeah. But those are two people who are so great that I'm saying like if
Yeah.
someone came in as just plain Joe, plain Jane, it doesn't really work unless you're at that level.
Yes, and going off of that, you saying you want to come back to New York once you acquire that A and everything. Once you hit here, or I guess yeah, I'm the only one in New York now. Once you get back to this side, is it just hit the ground running to start applying? Do you feel like you're gonna, maybe even like create a person like an online persona to try to get that type of following, then apply? You have like some type of blueprint about how you want to go about it?
Yeah, so right now, I just want to I'm just really trying to be myself and put that out there and see what the world responds to. Oh, hey, this is Xavier. Um, I definitely, yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna go balls to the walls, hit New York, apply to everything, audition for everything, take everything, even if it's like, do you want to be an extra for like a scene where you're just standing there with like a cup? Sure, it gets my name down. I not only that, but when you're there and when you're actually filming something, that's how you make connections. Behind the
Exactly.
scenes is really how you make the connections. Just smile, say hello. My name is Xavier Rosado. A little 30-second, elevator pitch. Even if it's not meant to be that, even if it's something where it's, oh, do you want to go get coffee? Go get coffee. Talk a little. Make sure they get to know me. You never know when you can run into somebody that's going to change your life. So
Absolutely.
that's
That
exactly
is
what.
a great mentality to have. I feel like in any aspect of your life, but especially you trying to get into this, the reality TV side of the world.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta just because you, especially going to New York, which is a hotbed for everything. You never know who's going to latch on to you, who you might impress, or whatever. And I feel like a lot of people don't have that mentality. They kind of feel like, oh well, like if it'll happen, it'll happen, but I'm not going to really try to. It's like, well, you're missing the point. Then no one. It's very rare for someone to just be like, no, you're it. Just catch you
Right.
randomly out. Like it can happen, but like most of the time, you have to put in the work. You have to go get your degree. You have to go, just like you said, play extra, or yeah, play an extra here or there, whatever. And all of a sudden, you're applying for stuff. You get an agent. They try to put you into like it, and you're what, 21?
What happened?
How old are
I'm
you?
18.
21.
I'm 18.
You're 18. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. Okay. Even then, that means you have even more time. I was gonna say,
Right.
well, you're 21, you've got all of your 20s to go. You really have all of your 20s to go because you haven't even hit it yet. So I
Right.
know that I'm like rambling with this, but like I do
No, no.
appreciate the fact that you already know what it takes, and it seems like you
Right.
are already putting yourself on that path to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a good transition. You already know what to do to set your path, right? So let's switch back to the LRG mode, right? So I'll play a game called Fuck Mary Kill, right? In terms of Survivor LRGs, right?
Okay.
What do you think is the best game as a player or for a jury to vote for? So Fuck Mary Kill, Under the Radar, the villain, or the alpha male who's in your face winning all the challenges.
Um, kill the alpha male.
Okay.
um, I would.
Cheers to that.
I would say. I would say, fuck the under the radar game. That's always gonna be second. Only because I feel like getting to the end and winning within over the top, like, hey, I've been here the whole time. Like, y'all have been trying to target me. I will always think that that is better than saying, okay, yeah, I've been doing this behind the scenes. I've been doing this behind the scenes because yes, you have. Good for you. Good for you. Genuinely, you did that well.
Yeah.
But if that person, I will 8 times out of 10 vote for that person to win. But if that person is up against a person who is been like, hey, they've been trying to get me out since day one, it has not worked.
Yeah.
It and the reason why I separate that from alpha male is because I feel like alpha male is like, okay, yeah, I won all these comps, I won every single time. I think playing an over the top game is more of like, I haven't won many of these comps. I've been getting in y'all's ear and I've been steering y'all away from voting me out, and y'all failed to vote me out every single time. And so I think that that's my viewpoint, and like,
So would you feel that way if you're a fallen angel, you're fourth place, and you get there? Those are the three finalists. You got the villain, the alpha male, and the villain was someone who was willing and dealing, and then they cut you. You was the last cut right before that final trouble. Do you still hold it like that, or do you think you need that buffer point? Like maybe you was fifth. Maybe
I
like
think I would definitely vote for the villain. I'm not a bitter juror at all. I'm salty. I'm salty as hell.
okay,
I'm mad salty. But I think when it comes, I've been put in that position so many times where through like online games, I have played my heart out. And I had to manipulate, I had to outwit, outplay, outlast. And it's like we're looking at that, and the whole point of Survivor, outwit, outplay, outlast. So why am I not getting the win just because I did exactly what I had to do to win? I did exactly what I had to do to get me in that final 3 spot. And I think bitter juries, they they have a right to feel that way, but it's like, bro, if you're gonna get salty, don't play the game. That's
and
my
I
that's my point of view.
I
I
kind
think
of 100% agree with that. like
and I would say that I only sort of agree with like I've never bought into the concept of a bitter jury because
right,
everyone is bitter about something. You could be bitter. You're a Survivor fan. Watched Survivor Game Changers. Those people were very pissed off with Sarah, overly
right,
pissed off with Sarah. I would say very bitter towards Sarah, and they
right.
still voted for her to win. So like
Mhm.
the concept of bitter jury has always I've never really bought into it because I've seen bitter juries on the show still vote for the person that pissed them off the most.
Right,
I think where the disconnect is when people's favorites don't win, then it's like, okay, well, they didn't win because the jury was bitter. It's like that doesn't matter.
right,
And like Vanuatu, they hated Chris. They hated Chris. He still won.
right,
But I do agree that you can't sit there and you coming having that athletic background, you should get it more than most people because you have lost in games before. Losses happen. And you know what we do? We get angry, we get salty, we get this, we get that. But we never
right,
well, you know, that's the other team didn't deserve to win. It's like, no, they did because they won. You know, it sucks admitting that, but it is what it is. And game respects game. That I know that's such a cliche, but like it is what it is. That's
and
what losing wins all about.
Yep.
I think when I get upset, like when I say I'm salty, most of the time it's genuinely not even to the other person. It's the fact that I sat there and I let you play in my face, and I should have been able to read that. I think the good part about being an actor, especially in like this like LRG community, is that not only can you act, but actors can also tend to view when the other person's acting as well. So if me as an actor who has all these trophies in my room for being a good actor, if you can look me in my eyes and like deceive me, be like, damn, like shame on me. I should have been able to sniff that out, and I wasn't able to. So it's more of saltiness just to myself. Like, damn, like you're an idiot. But yeah.
So what games have you played without giving any spoilers? So
Right.
you-
So
you're new to,
in what happened?
I say you're new to the community, so
Right.
we want to know what games you played.
So in order, I did the Challenge Belleville 1, the Challenge Belleville 2, Caucus Season 18, and then Survivor Florida.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Survivor Florida, is it like a full year semester game, or was it one of the 1 day, 2 day games?
It was one of the 1 day, 2 day games. It wasn't like a full. It's actually a Survivor club at University of Florida, and they set it up together. It's very like, especially for all you have to do is give $20 just to donate to the club. It's very. We got our own buff, and then you get another buff based off of your placement. So pre-jury, jury, third place, runner-up, winner. So I have the other buff somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but yeah, it was an amazing experience. But I, without spoiling anything, I can't spoil Belleville 2 and Caucus 18. But for my first ever game, Belleville 1, I got second place, and then for Survivor Florida, I ended up winning that. So
oh shit. So you're off to a hot start without knowing what the results for the other two. You're off to a
no comment. No comment.
Well, I mean, also you've got about what 8-9 years of experience. You have to practice. No, but like, and okay. So having said that, as someone that comes from the community long term, and you play with newbies, you play with people that probably John hadn't even watched Survivor by the time he started playing, right? Am I right in saying that?
I think I've seen 5 seasons total.
Okay, so do you feel like it's easier to play with people that have no idea what's going on, or do you feel like it's like other folks that like are trying to? You guys are, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think Survivor Florida. There were fans of the show. I guess there just wasn't people who played like the online games. And so a lot of people, I noticed there was a lot of people, like almost everybody that played was a fan of Survivor. There was no like recruits or whatever that like came and was like, this seems fun, let me apply. It was all fans of the show. So it was very I definitely prefer, obviously, people who don't know what they're doing, because it's like
makes it easier for you.
Like you don't really know that what to do with idols, advantages, like challenges, like iconic challenges. At that point, if you're a fan of Survivor, you can watch it, and when you're in person and you see it in front of you, you start thinking, this was in this season, this is how the winner of this challenge like did this challenge. Like there's a strategy towards this. I know the strategy because I'm a fan of the show. So yeah, it's definitely like an advantage on my part.
But also, it's great to play with players. It's a good and bad thing to play with players who never played the game. The bad point is sometimes you got people trying to do strategy when they want to throw a rogue vote, and it's like, yo, you're fucking up what we're trying to do. That's always the bad part. But then the good part is you got people who aren't trying to be somebody they seen on the show. You know how many times LRGs and it's like, you're trying to be Tony, you're trying to be this player. It's like, let's be you, and it's like they just do it so early on. It's like now you just focus on getting the fuck
like
out.
You just want a moment. That's it.
Yeah. I hate that.
and it's also especially when I played Survivor Florida. I think Survivor Florida was the LRG that I felt so bad with doing because they even clocked me at Final Tribal Council. Like the whole jury clocked it. They basically said how like I played a very vicious game, and in my head, I didn't because I was just playing the game. But obviously, I won. Like every jury voted for me. But it was a thing where I was seeing these like real people who like go to my college and like are like we were just talking about like going clubbing after,
Yeah.
and they were like, yeah, you played it viciously, like you lied to my face. And I was like, I just didn't know that other people was taking it like how they were taking it.
Yeah.
um but yeah, I it made me feel so bad, but at that point I was just like, I have never I think there's a difference from playing viciously in the game and playing viciously as like just a vicious person. I
Yeah.
made sure that like especially when we were sitting down and like we were waiting to get up and go vote, we would all have like personal conversations and we would talk about like, theater, athletics, like all of that.
Yeah.
And I made sure to say it like in my final speech. I was like, I understand that you guys think I'm playing vicious, but not once have I ever said anything like outside of game. Like everything was solely just for the game. And after this, I was just hoping that we'd all be friends. And so I think people who aren't fans of the show tend to take it more personal because they just don't know exactly like I guess how the game works and how like vicious you might have to be in order to get to the end.
Yeah. It's the I am everyone that listens to my other podcast knows I am not a Russell Hantz person at all. I kind of despise the guy.
Right.
I think Russell Hantz and Rob are a prime example. Rob, Mariano, or Sesternino are prime examples of okay, you've got these two, Rob and Rob, who are villains and they are doing underhanded tactics. You can't really do underhanded things in Survivor because whatever. But
Right.
they're not doing anything inherently evil.
Right.
But they're considered villains. Russell Hantz is a piece of shit and was doing, he was doing evil stuff, game wise and saying things that went outside of the game. So when people
Right.
put him on the same pedestal as Rob, Tony, other people like that, it's like these two are not, they're not the same.
Right.
And, hearing you say that, these people perceived you as this actual evil human being, even though you weren't even doing anything wrong, you were
Right.
playing the game the way that you
Playing.
want to play it, and you're still building these actual bonds with them, and you just sorry, I'm trying to win. Like that is if the goal is to win. Why would I bring three people along to the end when
Right.
only one of us can win the game? It doesn't make sense. I don't know if you watched season 1 of The Traitors,
I did.
but I love the season. I refused to watch the reunion because I saw how pissed off all those people were with Serene. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
because these people didn't know this world. They couldn't grasp the fact that this woman was both
Right.
making genuine bonds with them, but also lying straight to their face because she wants to win.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy that people don't understand that very basic concept.
And I think that also goes with, I think there's tiers of gameplay. Like I believe I said this on the first podcast, where an org, a mini, a college game, and an LRG is all different types of intensity. In an org and a mini, everyone's line. We're friends. We're going to see each other in 2 weeks or next week. We're going to play a 30-day org together. Maybe we'll be allies. And I think like you playing in a college game, I played in a college game this year. No spoilers. I played in Indiana University season 2. They actually allowed outside players in versus college players. And I see where people who are not from the LRG world, how they can take things personally, especially like if we're gaming a certain way. So I think that's probably more of where they felt like you were kind of being disgenuine, was more
Yeah.
you played you played Bellevue. Did you play the Caucus before that? Or
Yes. Yes.
you played Caucus and you played Bellevue twice. So you already know what it takes. You've seen who won your first season of Bellevue. You're like, all right, you know what? I got to do this better. So you came
Right.
in as a vet, as a pro, and they're kind of getting their cherry popped, and it was like, damn, he did us dirty. But it's like they're gonna get over it. They're gonna play the next game, and they're gonna do the same thing. And then you'll probably get those contacts where I kind of understand what you did. Where I have conversations with people that I play games where they were like, "Yo, I hated you," but after I played my second, third, fourth game, I was like, "I understand what you did." And looking it back, you're not really that bad guy. So I wouldn't even
Right.
really let that get to your head. It was just you were more seasoned, and they weren't.
Yeah.
But with saying that, what season games are you looking forward to play? Like, what games are on your radar right now?
Um, Honestly, any Survivor LRG. I'm like dying to play because Survivor Florida, mad fun. I want to play one of those LRGs that's like either recorded or like you actually have to go into like a forest, like camp with people, like an actual experience. At Survivor Florida, for being a college game, the competitions were on point. I have to say they did not disappoint at all. Almost every the budget that they have, I know it's a university, so like they had budget for especially for the club. It was crazy. But I definitely want to play the ones that are high intense, like real, like give me a slingshot, give me like hour-long endurance competitions. Like I'm ready for that.
Okay.
Bloomington, um, Brooklyn, like all of those LRG survivors. As for the challenge Great Lakes, I applied season one. I got through with the interview process, and then they sent me an email. Amazing team, very amazing. They reached out to me. They sent me a nice little lengthy paragraph. They were like, "We are very interested in you, just because of your age. Like, we don't think this is gonna work for this season." I'm like, "Okay, that's okay." As for this year, I reached out to them, and they were like, "Yeah, you're more than welcome to apply. Like, well, we can see if we can have you this season. I just don't know if my times like match up for that." I'm still gonna apply just in case it does, but yeah, those are. I don't think there's any other. Obviously, when LRG casting posts, I'm always on it. I'm always looking to see if I can play, but especially, I think I'm only gonna be able to play games that are over next summer just because of my schedule with school. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So I came up with this term, right, of like wave three of LRG players, right? And I kind of like put you in it. I put like Rachel McKenna, Stephen Lupo, Mira, like the newer players who I'm seeing now come around. So wave three, right? How do you feel about your current class? Like, do you think you guys got some of the top people that are going to come up? Do you feel like you're ahead of people? Like, what do you think about that new influx of LRG players that are coming in?
Um, I don't necessarily know if like the wave one and two people did orgs before they did LRGs,
Yeah,
but to my knowledge, my like class of LRG players currently,
yeah.
we're coming in hot. We've been playing orgs for years. We're prepared. We're ready to we have seen so much online, and I think there is so much more like super fan energy that's going into like this class, and we know what it takes to win. We know what it takes to play, and I just think we're coming in hot, and it's nice to see all the like new people, me included, not only having a good time and like living out like not necessarily their dream, yeah, their dream. Like they want to play the real show. They're here playing, and I think that it's definitely nice to see like this going on.
I feel like it's an interesting correlation between, like you said, everyone coming in hot with this new batch of LRGers, waiting for them to come back. But what I was going to say, and I'll reiterate it when it comes back, is post COVID Survivor has been doing that a lot too, where they're casting more super fans. They're casting more people that like understand the intricacies of the game. They know about it. So the game basically, they have to basically change the game enough that the new people playing wouldn't game it, because at a certain point, if you've seen the same challenges over and over and over again,
Yeah.
all
I
you
mean,
do is stay at home and
I,
then go out and play. Yeah. What's up,
I get
Doug?
that where some of these people are even going on Amazon being like, I saw this on this Survivor season. This is the same damn slot puzzle. We got someone like me who's just going in there like, all right, let me try to figure this shit out. So like I do kind of agree with what he's saying. and especially 3 of those people in that class have played less than 5 games, and they've each got a win. We have Xavier, I guess he has his win. Stephen Lupo just got Big Brother. And then we also have Jacob, who played Outlast, Surviving Bloomington, and then he just won his Indiana game. So yeah, these guys are coming in hot. So it's gonna be interesting to see how things shake up when they go against like older players. And I don't even know if I gave them the right wave, if they're wave 3 or wave 4. I just know they're the wave after me, but whatever.
Yeah, like at a certain point, that's the thing is like I see people that have been playing live games since like the mid 2010s
Yeah.
that are still playing now. And it's like, wow, you haven't burnt out at all during this. And I guess 2020 there weren't any allergies, so like it is very easy to take a year off there because you aren't doing anything. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised that people don't get burnt out playing, for that long of a period of time without taking any type of real breaks. It's easier with orgs where it's like I know from September to December I can't play an org. So I don't plan anything during that, and then I'll come back in January. I have a nice little 4-month break, and I feel refreshed. With LRGers, I feel like they play at least a game a summer, but that's on the lower end. There are some, John, who play, 3-ish a game or a year.
Yeah.
It's like, man, take a like I value the fact that y'all can do it. I just know I couldn't do it because these games are mentally and emotionally exhausting, and sometimes physically. And you need time to decompress out of all of that. Like to go back 2 weeks later and do it again, it's like, damn, like that's it's all power to y'all for doing it. But it's so wild to me that people can kind of just let it go, like get it all out and just go, all right, I'm flying out to California and I'm gonna play this one. I'm gonna go down to Nevada and play this one. It's like, all right, cool. Like if you need someone to hug afterwards, just let me know, man. I know how tough this shit can get.
But I think it's one of those things where it's because, like you said, you've seen players like, let me see, a wave 1 player. I'll say someone like Stacy, right? Someone who's been playing it. She's been playing LRGs for 10 plus years. She has over 20, 22 LRG games under her belt, right? You have players like that. But Stacy's one of those people that keep coming back. And I think when I came in, I got the bug. It was like a tattoo. And I kind of see where Stacy's at. It's like if you love this game and you take that time off, it's kind of like you don't use it, you lose it type muscle memory. You're gonna come back into the game. The game is changing. Like you saw what was it? Survivor 40, right? That's one of the seasons I did see. You seen where Rob is this big figure, right? But then you see Tony, and you're like, shit, you can see the difference of how the game has evolved. And I think for players like me, where I'm in the middle, I'm not one of the oldest players, I'm not the young cats, but it's like I want to keep doing it. And I think that's why Stacy keeps doing it. Certain players, Melanie keeps doing it, because you want to be there and compete always. And I think this next generation are going to probably be the next Stacy, Dave Holsworth, where they're playing into their later years, because it's just, to me, this is a sport now. Xavier, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I definitely, I would have done so much more LRGs this summer. I think right now my focus was more on college this summer, like getting a whole bunch of textbooks, my scholarship money sorted out. And LRGs also cost money. They if you're watching and you haven't done an LRG before, don't let that scare you. But it's not really a thing where you have to watch out for it. Like if you want to play one, but when you're really starting to play like more, you really start to see like the stack up on, okay, this game costs this much, this game costs this much, and hopefully next summer I will be a whole like way more available to do more stuff. But as for this summer, I was just so focused on school that with all the fees of games, I just really couldn't. But if that was never a thing, or a factor rather, this summer I would have been popping all the LRGs. out, especially now that I'm 18. I reach most of the LRG's age requirements. I know some are 21 and up. But I think that there's like Steven you mentioned, love Steven, played with him on both Belleville and Caucus. I know that he's been playing, and he's been playing a lot. I think he's played what, 5, 6 LRGs this summer. Still
Summer,
going.
yes. Big Steve, yeah, he's right around there.
Yeah. And I don't see a sign of him stopping anytime soon. I think that this new gen of people were popping up, and this is something we're passionate about, and we are going to make sure that our little super fan heart gets filled with all the reality shows that we need to do. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you guys are way better than that dude who was on the last season of Survivor. The dude who
I played with him. Jelinski. I played online games with him.
Yeah, like he's laying down all these LRG dreamers with the quitting. I'm like, I don't know if we really do those.
Yeah, I played an online Instagram. I played 2 online Instagram games with him. So seeing him on the show was very excited, and then well, that happened. So yeah.
Let's see. I think the next thing we had was like, so what qualities you think make someone good at these games? And I'm not just talking about one game. So like, what's one thing you can speak for yourself as well? Like, you played a challenge game, play a survivor game. What do you think you can? What do you think you do in both? And you can include in like a Big Brother game or the mole game. Like, what do you have that makes you a good player?
I think that something you absolutely need is confidence. You can completely suck at comps. You can go into it with the past of not being social at all. Let's say that one person is really not a social person. They're an introvert, an extra introvert, which I'm not saying you have to change that. Everybody's allowed to, I guess, play how they want to play. But if you go in with confidence and you're just likable and you're yourself, and you go in and you're just like, hey, I'm blah, 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 like, nice to meet you, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. Eventually, you have that mindset where you're just on go. Like you're confident enough where you can look at a challenge and you can be like, okay, I've never done this before, but I can do it. And that's what I think, like, if you play a challenge game, let's say you're going in a pole wrestle against somebody who's bigger than you, stronger than you. There's not only is there strategies to, I guess, make sure that you're not like 100% just taken over by strength. There's so much strategies you could use. But if you're going in there and you're holding onto that pole and you're going in there and you're like, okay, I'm fucked, like I'm losing, you're going to lose. If you're confident and you have that mindset of, okay, I'm going to try my best, I'm going to do this, I'm not letting go of this pole. That's when you have that mindset of, okay, I can win. And I think that is something I've done for all the LRGs I've done, is just be confident. Don't let anybody punk you. Don't let anybody bring your spirit down. Don't let anybody bring your confidence down. Like, I'm Xavier Rosado. I'm confident. I'm ready. I'm ready to play the game. I'm ready to win the game. I'm ready to do all this. And I think it's definitely just, I think that's how you get a lot of positivity and just, I guess, confidence on your mind. Just go in and be on it. So
No, that's exactly right. And especially the whole "don't let people punk you" thing, because there are people in this community that think that they are above everyone because they've won this many games and this, that, and the other, and they go and feel like you have to kiss the ring, or they feel like they can talk to you a type of way because this ain't my first rodeo. I can do this, that, and the other. It's like, yeah, we'll see what happens at the end. Now, yeah, I might still lose, but it's not going to be because you punked me. It's going to be because you beat me fair and square. It's not going to be because I just like I kind of gave up because I'm against this person. And I feel like that's another thing that certain people feel like they have they have to kiss the ring. They have to let people punk them to like what's the phrase? To earn their stripes and it's like
yeah.
it's like this ain't a club, it is a cult, but it's not one of those cults that you have to pay your dues first
Right.
before you can be allowed to be good at it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think that's a thing that you see in well, I know in challenge games is basically like it'll be somebody who went home like first boot, second boot, third boot. They come back a season, right? Then there's vets who are a little bit outnumbered this time. So they go get that first, second, third boot from the last season and be like, hey, you're one of us now. And then they get indoctrinated where they think they belong when it's like you're only just a number. And in the survivor games, you got certain people who want to like throw around their status where it's like, do you know who I am? I'm never pre-merge. And it's like you want to go against me. And then people buy into that shit, and then you're like, oh, it's final 8, final 7, and then you're out the game, and that person gets another victory. That's something that I see. So I really like what you said. Like, don't let anybody punk you. Have your own confidence. I'd rather everybody hate me because you know I'm going to be a problem in the game, rather than I'm not going to kiss up to the higher class or whatever.
I'm definitely the type of person where I don't and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I don't need to respect you. Respect goes both ways. And luckily I haven't ran into that in any of my games where I felt like I'm getting bitched, because that's just the type of person I am. Like if you want to try to bitch me, it's just not gonna work. I'm gonna laugh in your face, and then you're gonna get even more mad that I'm laughing in your face. But I've never been bitched. I never will be bitched. I'm never gonna allow myself to be bitched. And I just think that I don't know. It definitely rubs me the wrong way when I see that happening. Um, but yeah, I've been lucky enough. The 3 franchises I've played, my personal experience have been amazing. I don't have anything bad to say about anything about that. So.
All right. So my next thing is talked a lot about these games, about the freshman class coming in, everything. Who do you think right now is the crown holder of LRGs? Who's the king, queen? Who's the person? If you think LRGs, you're like, damn, this person is good. I would want to go against them, just be in the same realm with them, friendly competition, or this is someone who I want to take their spot. However you
Right.
want to phrase it, who do you think is the crown holder right now?
Right. Now I'm going to speak on my personal experiences and to my knowledge. So there's probably like about 200 people that I just do not know. They might be like the goats of LRGs. I'm sorry, I just don't know you. So this is just the people that I'm knowledge on, just the people that I know.
Yeah.
Number 1 would be Taylor Clark.
Okay.
I follow her, I think, and I see a lot of good stuff on her. Number 2 would be Coper. Y'all know Coper?
Matt Cope? Which one?
Yes.
Big man, Matt. Angelica?
Yeah.
Survivor Challenge?
I heard he's like big on wins. Number 3 would be Jordan.
Which one?
I don't know her last. She goes TJ_Jordan on Instagram. I don't know her last name. I don't know if you're watching this.
Which game they played?
They just played Caucus.
Okay.
I don't know, but before Caucus, she like I followed her, and she did a lot of survivors, and she was good. Like yeah.
Mutual friends, dang.
Survival Challenge Jordan.
I believe so.
Glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 4 would be Jason.
Man.
I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, so we just gonna say Jason. You know who I'm talking about. The GOAT. I love him. And number 5 would be, I say it's gonna be a tie between you and Steven.
Oh.
You and Steven.
I feel honored as having no dubs.
I'll put a tie. Just of what I've watched and what I've seen.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Oh,
Um,
I'm gonna tie someone with y'all. Kevin from
okay,
Caucus. Yeah,
okay.
he he's really good. But
Listen, be
yeah.
on the list with no wins. I feel like Allen Iverson, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Um, I do have a hot take question for you that
Okay.
I had written down. Okay,
Uh-oh.
do you think that org players and winners should shut the fuck up and sit behind their computers instead of commenting and making memes about LRG players when they have no intention to ever go into a live game? They're just behind the keyboard, just yapping about this player sucks. This player should do something. How do you feel about that? Or do you think
Oh.
I'll take it
Uh,
as constructive criticism? How do you take
oh.
it?
Oh yeah. I that was my biggest problem. Especially during the quarantine. Part of my org experience. When I would do orgs, I would have people running their gums, talking a bunch of shit. And in my mind, it's just like you you have no desire to you cannot get up out of your computer, past your computer, get up out of bed, go outside, and run around your block, let alone do an LRG. I they definitely there's a bunch of shit talkers in the org community. And it's very sad because there is also people from the org community that do LRGs that talk a lot of shit.
Oh, okay.
Um, um, yeah, some of those people, one of those people have been on this podcast, and it's not Brady.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
they like to talk. They like to talk a lot. And then when it comes to actual LRGs, I feel like they get lost in the sauce because they think they can do it, but some of these people are chronically online. Some of these people always want to just find issues, and they want to make issues out of nothing. Um, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna say on that hot
Have you
take.
ever had a fake Xavier page? I think at one point Brady and Brady and one of my so the only org community I really fucked with was
Mhm.
JMC, right? They used to do live games called Camp, Murder House. So shout out to JMC Mini. Um,
Oh, James, I think
James,
I I think I
it's
know that.
Justin Michael Craig. I think that's the guy that runs it. He
I think so.
So I remember there was somebody in his community and Brady. I remember they were getting heat for I think playing like a snap game. I don't know if it was Big Brother Snap or something, where these LRG people made a hate page of them, like
Mhm.
with pictures of them, which were like they had their faces drawn with like devil horns and it showing screenshots. And I was like, I really hate the org community. Like, I don't think I can ever go back to it because, like, if you're not gonna ever play LRG and you're just giving your comments, well, I think John V sucks because he did this and this, and I think he should have did this. Cool, but some of these people are trying to take it personal, where they're like, I have friends where people are trying to talk about where they live. This is a job they do.
Yeah.
They're going on Spokio.com, getting pictures of their homes and trying to post it. So yeah, like I do agree with you. Like some of these people, you can't even get out your crib, and that's
They're
okay.
just trolls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're trolling, if your whole persona is to troll, I think shut the fuck up and stay behind the camera.
My biggest thing is like, how about you get up, apply to the same LRG as me, and see what happens. See what
Yeah,
happens.
those are the same people
And
that put you on the do not cast list. That they're like, oh, I'll play if this person's not playing, but then
yeah,
it's
yeah. It's crazy. It's just a whole bunch of hate. The org community it's always been like that. I think honestly in my early years, um, it wasn't like that. It was really just like, let's be a community, let's have fun, let's genuinely like I used to be in a community, we would be on obviously it was like during the summer, we were all like 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, and we're all like, you know what, let's just get online. We would go online, we would play a Big Brother, then we'd play a Survivor, then we'd play like the challenge, then we would play like a random other game. Like we that really was like the good old days. And I don't want to say that to sound like, oh my God, like nostalgia or whatever, but
Yeah.
I do miss the times where things weren't taken so serious. Um I've had so much shit talked about me. People finding like old Instagram accounts, like my family's accounts. Like it's the org communities, they are vicious, and they are vicious because they hide behind screens. And I will say there is some people in the org community that talk shit, and they they can back it up in LRGs.
Yeah.
Mr. Jonathan is one of them. Um,
I don't even know who that is.
yeah, because that's his real name. I'm not giving him the satisfaction of calling him by his alias.
Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah. But they just love to talk. They love to talk, and it's just trolling. They just get off on that. They get off on trolling online, um, being personal because they got voted out like fourth in a game. Oh, the horror. As if they can't apply to like 50 other games tomorrow. Um,
Yeah, and I
but
hate
yeah.
they post the org shit. Like sometimes I'll be thinking this shit's a real game. I have a cinematic trailer. I'm like, oh, what game is this? And I'll go look at it. The kid's like 12 years old, and he just edged out a dude that was 40. Like I got my first win. I'm like, ah, bro, take that shit
Yeah.
off. How do you feel about that, coach?
Huh?
How do you feel about like the org?
Well, I mean, I'm still very not big in the board community, but I still play a lot of. I'm up to like I think 50. I'm gonna hit 50 next year. I do agree that there are a lot of people in the org community that kind of have this sense of invincibility because they never actually have to interact with folks. But on the other end of that, there are people that will back it up. There are
Yeah.
people that, you talk to them afterwards and it's just, hey, it was all game, this, that, and the other. And on the other and on the other end of that, I do feel like
Loser.
there are people in the LRG community that have that same type of mentality. And yeah, they're just more they're just less afraid of saying it to your face, which is good. Like if you're gonna say it to the face, because I mean I'm not someone that'll like take offense if someone said something to my face. It's like, okay, cool. That's all I need to know, that you're being a stand-up individual and you're not doing this. But I feel like it's very easy for me to say there are shitty folks in both arenas, because I've been in both. I've been in both communities for 3 years. It sucks, but like, for me, I want to be, if you like me, I like you. If you don't like me, that's fine. I don't have to interact with you. I'm also not going to motherfuck you because there's no point to it. I'm just going to live my life. And some people, that even annoys some people though. Like, oh man, you don't sell it. You don't sell the fact that they're out here saying all this stuff and they get upset and say, oh, it's clear that he's really pissed off. It's like, no, I actually just don't care. And it's all right that I don't care. It seems like you do care. So that might be something you need to evaluate for yourself. But over here, I've got my real life. I've got my
Right.
real life I can get back to, and I'm not going to
And
let
it's
you bring
yes.
that down.
And it's so sad when you see people with no lives, chronically online, popping in.
I mean, I would say so. There's one, or I guess it's a mini that it's fucking ratchet, but I love watching it for entertainment. I forgot the name, but it's
Oh,
like there's
Hellscape.
yeah, you already knew. There's no
I was on
conversation.
it. I was on it 4
I
times.
I fuck with the game just to watch it because I'm like, yo, y'all really getting
I don't
so.
want to talk about a cult. Like
Yeah.
that is an actual cult.
But fuck it, let's transition. So, all right, I got two questions before we close up. So, one, Xavier, if you had to host your own game, right? What format would you do? Would you take like a recipe from a game that's out now, make it better? Obviously, you're not going to do no saltine crackers or solo cups and play in a park for one day. But what would you do if you had to make a game?
Yeah. So I actually, something I never mentioned is I was a part of a thing called the Minecraft community. Minecraft community, they put these games, so like Big Brother Survivor the Challenge, they built it in Minecraft, and they would have the people play and like record it, and it basically like replicated the same show. Back in 2017, I was 14 years old. I started a YouTube channel, and I was like, you know what? I'll do Minecraft game shows. And I did 40 seasons. So like 10 Survivor, 10 Big Brother, 10 The Challenge, and then 10 on a custom format I called the Fire Show, because online in the Minecraft community I went by Fire Skull. So I basically, what the Fire Show was is usually it's in teams. I did on the 40th season. I did a Battle of the Generations. So it was people from season 1 through 10, 11, 19, so on and so forth. And the first half of the game is the challenge. Second half of the game is Survivor. Third half of the game is Big Brother, and they had to go about that with their teams. For the challenge, it was like if you lose, you have to vote in a person. The winning team has to vote a person from whatever generation they want to. Big Brother is like the head of household gets to choose like whoever they want to nominate based off like whatever they want. And at the end, it's just like a finale. So I think I would do that with just it's just a mix of everything. The challenge, Survivor, Big Brother, and it's nice to see like the team dynamics and what like really goes about.
Yeah, I think there once was a LRG when I first started looking for LRGs that was called Through Reality, where every round was a different game. So like round one could be RuPaul's Drag Race. And it's like
Mhm.
whoever stepped up and dragged the best had safety, they voted somebody out. Then the next one was the challenge. So that concept was always dope. So I like that. All right. So before we go, so you played the first season of Bellevue, right? Which is
Mhm.
it's a brand new Survivor game. It's also in Jersey.
The
Do you,
challenge.
yeah, the
Challenge
Bellevue
game.
Yeah.
Challenge. Do you feel like you are somewhat a, like attached? Like, do you feel like an anchor? Like, how do you feel? What's your relationship with Bellevue? Is that something you're like, yo, no matter what, 10 years from now they call me back. 2 years from now I'm coming back as many times as they want me. Are you trying to be a staple? How does it feel to have Bellevue
Yeah.
launch?
Absolutely. Season one I played, and season one was kind of just a thing where we never the season one cast didn't get to know each other. We went in, we competed. As soon as we competed, we left. There was no getting to know each other. There was like, oh, like you have my Instagram. We never really built connections. I
Yeah,
got second place off that, and so he hit me up and he was like, hey, like you're well liked. Apparently, like all the comments were filled with like Team Xavier, all of that. And he was like, you're always welcome back to season two. Played season two this summer. Can't talk about what happened, but I think based off of what happened in not only season one but in season two, I think I think I am like tied to the hip at Belleville. Not only that, but based off of Belleville, I got accepted into an online game called the Doghouse that Tello hosts.
okay.
Um, and it was LRGs versus orgs. And based off of that, I was put on a team with Josiah, who is the host of Belleville, and also a whole bunch of people from Caucus. Um, and I think that really opened the door. I have to say, Josiah really did open the door for me. He let me on Belleville, and when he let me on Belleville, that opened the door for so much more opportunities. I got to meet Dre himself in that game. I got to meet like my best friend Cam. I got to meet so many people based off that game, and it's all because of Josiah. So if Josiah tells me like, hey, like we need you, whether it's for a last minute spot or anything, I feel like I owe him I feel like I owe him everything. Genuinely, so much stuff has happened in my life because of Josiah. And it all stems from the fact that he let me play Belleville, and I didn't even apply for Belleville. He like reached out to me through a live, and he was like, "Hey, like, would you want to do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So you will always catch me supporting Belleville. I came from season one. I will continue to play. It's just an amazing experience. Same with Caucus, an amazing experience. Um, yeah, I I have nothing bad to say at all.
So if they ever had Caucus versus Bellevue, what team is Xavier staying on?
I would have to do Belleville only because that's where I started. I feel like that's fair. I started with Belleville, and Josiah is such a kind human being, and yeah, I don't think I would have been on. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't know what goes behind like Caucus's casting, but I definitely think that everything truly came from Belleville, and I owe a lot to Josiah, and I'm so grateful. So
Yeah, respect to
yeah,
Bellevue. I mean, I'm excited to see season 2 for sure. I'm gonna be
yep.
cheering you on,
Who-
cheering on my man Steven. Was that me
mhm.
on that season 2 or no?
No,
No, okay. I thought he played the same season with you. I was like, I'm about to see all three, yeah. But
I
now
mirror. We us three is on. We're on Caucus.
18, that's coming out.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool,
but
cool.
not on Belleville.
Yeah, I mean, back home, like New York, New Jersey, there's a lot of games popping off. I would
Yep.
say I just played the first season of Stranded, which Will, I believe he was helping on production for season 17 and 18 of the challenge. It's a 2-day game. It's not as strenuous survival mode as like Real Foot, Bloomington, or Outlast, but it's a good game. And Will's one of those people who tries to game gamers. So
Right.
what it's coming out soon, so you'll be able to see it and you can make your own judgment. But I think if you're going back home, you're like, hey, I want to play another survivor game that's close to home. Stranded is definitely
Right.
I would vouch for.
Yeah.
Coach, anything in closing?
No, man, I feel like this was a great conversation overall. Like, I really am excited to see how you progress, not only in the community, but also knowing that you're only 18 and not 21. You getting back to New York and doing your thing when you get back here, because, like I said, it's great that you have that type of mentality at such a young age, because I think that'll just pay dividends the next however many years it takes for you to get your AA. And then from there, I hope to see you not only in games, but just like you reaching that dream of yours to be
Right.
on some type of reality television show. So, yeah, I
Yep.
think this was great. I really enjoyed it.
All right. Great having you. I'll see you in the field somewhere soon.
Yeah. Of course.
But yeah, anything you want to shout out last minute? Anything real?
Um, I do just want to say thank you all. Thank you, first of all, John and Coach, for letting me on here. This has been amazing. I am definitely going to be busting my ass, whether it's in college or new LRGs or orgs. This is not the last you're going to see of Xavier. Shout out to the Challenge Belleville Season 2 coming out 2025. Caucus Challenge Season 18 2025. Make sure to apply to both Belleville and Caucus. They're both looking for new people. Amazing community, both of them. They're both welcoming. They both put their everything into it, and I had an amazing experience. I want to urge everybody to just take a second and go to respectively Dre Media and the Challenge Belleville, because those are the just amazing. Can't wait for the future. Can't wait to see what I can stir up in the future, be a part of. And yeah, I just want to make a name for myself. And I think that I've been doing a really good job so far. So I'm so excited to see the future for myself. So
With that, we are out. See y'all next week, guys.